Hello, good morning students. This is your fifth lecture of chapter 2, dual effects of transactions and types of accounts. Okay, see in our last lecture we complete up to illustration number 6 and also had given you a rule of personal account, real account and nominal account. I hope you all remember that all the rules because it is now useful to you to do the remaining sum. Okay, and see here I also told you to see illustration number 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now I hope you all see that. Now I am practically do that particular sum in this lecture. Okay, so first of all I am reading the personal account, that is first personal account. What is that? On page number 42, personal account. Two types of persons are included in a personal account. Two type of persons. See, whenever you are writing an account, you have to be concentrate only on the owner side. Who is the owner of the business? First of all you have to know that. Here the owner name is given in each and every transaction first. Okay, so you have to see that which person is affected, which person account is affected on the opposite side. See here, whenever I told you that here I am selling a goods to Raman Bhai. I am selling the goods to Raman Bhai. Here I have to write an accounts in my books of accounts. So these transactions, here in these transactions Raman Bhai is the opposite side person and that person account will be affected here. Okay, so we have to just concentrate only on the opposite side person. That means which personal account, which person account is affected here and that account will be debited or credited as per the rule. Okay, so here two types of person are there. One, natural person and the legal artificial person. Second, and I also told you that here representative personal account also there. Business undertakes business transactions with the persons who takes benefit from business or gives benefit to the business. That's why what is the rule for personal account? See here. The rule is debit the receiver. What is of receiver? Benefit receiver. If someone is taken benefit from us, that account should be debited. And if some person give the benefit to us, then it is that account will be credited. Okay? Debit the receiver and the second one is credit the giver. Is the rule of personal account. I hope you all remember this rule. Okay, then see that here, if person has taken the benefit of a business, debit his account, and if person has given the benefit to the business, credit his account. In brief, debit the receiver account and the credit the giver account. Let us understand the matter with the following illustration. Here we have to show the illustration number 7. Okay, first transaction for that. Goods sold worth rupees 20,000 sold to Jayshree. Here goods of rupees 20,000 sold to Jayshree. Here two accounts are affected. First of all we have to find out in each and every transactions which two accounts are affected. That we will see, we had seen in the illustration number 3, right? We also say that at that time which two accounts are affected. Here we have to write the first affected account and the second affected account. At that time we already see that. Now here we have to see which personal account is affected only, not both accounts. See here, not two accounts affected here. Here we only have to see which personal account is affected. Here sold and Jayshree, two accounts are affected, that is sale and Jayshree. But in that two, sale is your real account Jayshree is your personal account, and here Jayshree is the receiver or giver. I am selling the goods, that's why Jayshree to Jayshree. That's why Jayshree is the receiver or giver. She is a receiver, right? So Jayshree account will be debited. See the answer, see the explanation on the page number 43. First, that you have to write in your example book. See here, you don't have to write a question. That is illustration number 7. You don't have to write, but you have to write in your example book answer of 7th question, and the answer of first. See here, goods sold to Jayshree 20,000. Jayshree is the benefit receiver. That's why her account will be debited. You have to write this sentence as your answer of this first transaction. Again, I told you that you have to write all these answer only, not questions. Okay, goods sold to Jayshree rupees 20,000. She is the receiver of the business. That's why her account will be debited. Now, second one, 10,000 deposits with Bank of Baroda. See here again, two account is affected. Which two account? Cash goes out from the business. I am depositing rupees 10,000 to Bank of Baroda. That means here from my business cash goes out. And who is the receiver? Bank of Baroda is the receiver of that particular cash. Bank of Baroda is a personal account, and here Bank of Baroda is a receiver. That's why Bank of Baroda account will be debited. See the answer, rupees 10,000 deposited with Bank of Baroda. Bank is benefit receiver. Its account will be debited. See, whatever, only the rule is there. Who is the receiver? Just you have to find out from this transaction, right? Here Bank of Baroda is a personal account. You all know that about. We already seen that in illustration number 4 and 5. All institute, all bank, all bank government, all are the hospitals, all are, say, it's a artificial personal account. Company, firm, all are a artificial personal account. Okay, so here Bank of Baroda is a personal account, and here it is benefit receiver. That's why here that account will be debited. Now the third one, rupees 30,000 paid to Bhumika. See, cash again goes out from this transaction. 30,000 paid. See here, it is an cash transaction. Paid word is there. That's why we can say it's a cash transaction. And here 30,000 goes out from the business. And who is the receiver? That 30,000 cash. Bhumika is the receiver. Again, Bhumika that is opposite person, and she is a person who is receiving the benefit from the business. So again, Bhumika account will be debited. See the answer, 30,000 paid to Bhumika. Bhumika is the benefit receiver. Her account will be debited. Okay. Fourth one, rent receivable from Silpa, rupees 2,000. See here, one twist is here. I told you that all outstanding receivable, all accounts will be a representative personal account, right? So here receivable rent rupees 2,000 from Silpa. What means of these transactions? That here Silpa is taking a benefit of our shop, of our any property, and she is not giving us any amount of rent right now. She is taking a benefit of our property, that is I am giving her to on rent, but she is not giving any amount of rent right now. That is I have a 2,000 receivable rent from her, right? So here she is a benefit receiver of our property, which is I am giving her on rent. So rent receivable, again it's a benefit receiver. That means Silpa is a benefit receiver. Okay, so read the answer. Shilpa has taken service from business, that is property taken from rent on rent, right? Her account will be debited. Okay, so whenever receivable, payable, all words are there, again I told you that it's a representative personal account. It represents a person behind that, and if it is a benefit receiver, then it account that her or his account will be debited, or when it is a benefit giver, then his and her account will be credited. Okay, so here Shilpa account will be debited, or you can say a rent receivable account also debited. Not only Shilpa account, you can write rent receivable, again it's a personal account, and you can write that rent receivable account will be debited, not Shilpa account. Next, goods worth rupees 20,000 purchased from Jayshree. See here, I am again, see first 4 are benefit receiver example, now next 4 are benefit giver example. Right here, in first transactions I sold goods to Jayshree, that's why at that time Jayshree is the benefit receiver. Here I am purchasing the goods from Jayshree, here Jayshree is the benefit giver. I am purchasing the goods or I am selling the goods from Jayshree to Jayshree, that means here it is an credit transactions. Here there is no any cash transaction, right? So here Jayshree is the benefit giver, that's why Jayshree account will be credited. See the answer, goods worth rupees 20,000 purchased from Jayshree. Jayshree is the benefit giver, her account will be credited. Whenever the benefit giver is there, her account, his account will be credited. Okay, so next point, rupees 10,000 withdrawn from Bank of Baroda. See, in second transactions I am depositing a amount, here I am withdrawing the amount. Here in second transactions cash goes out and Bank of Baroda is the receiver. Here in the sixth transactions cash comes in, we are withdrawing the cash, that's why cash comes into the business, and who is the giver that particular cash? Bank of Baroda is the giver of that particular cash, that's why we can say Bank of Baroda account will be credited. See the answer, 10,000 withdrawn from Bank of Baroda, Bank of Baroda is the benefit giver, its account will be credited. Next, Bhumika, 30,000 received from Bhumika, again same opposite, whenever in third transactions we are paying to Bhumika, here I am receiving the amount from Bhumika. So Bhumika again is the benefit giver, that's why Bhumika account will be credited. 30,000 received from Bhumika, Bhumika is the benefit giver, her account will be credited. Okay, now 8th transactions, rent payable to Shilpa. See, again opposite of receivable, here the payable is there. I am receiving a service from Shilpa, and here I am not paying any amount of rent to Shilpa, that's why here Shilpa is a benefit giver, right? So business has taken benefit also from of service of Shilpa, her account will be credited, that's why her account will be credited. Okay, so here only the rule is there, what is the business benefit is receiver or giver, the opposite person, the person account affected in a transactions, that person benefit receiver or benefit giver. If that person is benefit receiver, that account will be credited. If person is benefit giver, that account will be credited. Nothing else, it is very easy, but you have to keep in mind this particular rule, debit the receiver, credit the giver only. Okay, so here personal account illustration is over, you have to write this answer into your fair book. Now next point is real account. See the real account. Real account also can be categorized into two categories. First one is goods account and the second one is assets account. Transactions take place pertaining to goods and assets either goods or an assets comes into the business or goes out from the business, or an assets goes out, goods or assets goes out, right? Here only the rule. See the rule. Real account, debit what comes in, that is goods or assets. Credit what goes out. Again, goods or assets. Here real account categorized between two, that is first one is goods, second one is assets. If goods or assets comes into the business, that account will be debited. If goods and assets goes out from the business, that account will be credited. Okay, see here, rule of real account: debit what comes in, credit what goes out. If the goods or assets comes into the business, debit respective goods or assets account, and if the goods and assets goes out from the business, credit respective goods and assets account. Okay, let us understand this matter with the following transactions. Again, goods of rupees 20,000 purchased from Rohini. See here, both two accounts are affected here. Goods purchased, that means that is the first account, and from Rohini. Rohini is the second account. See, Rohini is a personal account. Here I am not explaining you the personal account. Here I am explaining you a real account. So we have to ignore in each and every transactions if person account is there or if any other account is there, we have to ignore that. We have to just concentrate only on the real account here, because it is a transactions for real account. We have to just concentrate on real account. Here goods purchase account is a real account, Rohini account is a personal account. Here goods purchase, that means goods comes into the business, that's why whatever comes into the business, that account will be debited. So here we can say that purchase account will be debited. I told you here, then whenever the goods of business, see what is the goods of the business? Whatever I am purchasing and reselling, that is my goods. Whatever I am purchasing for the purpose of resale, that is my goods of the business, and whatever I am purchasing for the help of my business, that is my asset. See the difference between these two, goods and assets. Whatever I am purchasing for the resale purpose, that is called goods for my business, and whatever I am purchasing for the help or for the use of my business, that means that is your asset, right? Okay, see here, first transactions, goods of rupees 20,000 purchased from Rohini. Read the answer. Goods of rupees 20,000 purchased from Rohini, goods comes in, purchase account will be debited. Whenever goods comes in, purchase account debited, goods goes out, sales account credited. Okay, so first only debit transactions, goods of rupees 20,000 purchased from Rohini. Now the second one, goods of rupees 8,000 purchased from Salma on cash. See here, I am purchasing the goods from Salma but on cash, that's why cash is the second account. Salma is not a second account. First account is goods purchased, that's why goods comes into the business, and the second affected account is not Salma, on cash. That's why whenever the cash word is there, we have to ignore the personal account. See, whenever the cash word is there, you have to write all these things whatever I am saying here. Whenever cash is there in the transaction, the cash word is there, you have to ignore the personal account, that is Salma account here in these transactions. You just have to see that I am purchasing the goods on cash. It is not a credit transaction, it is a cash transaction, right? So here purchase again, that means goods comes into the business, purchase account will be debited. See the answer, goods of rupees 8,000 purchased from Salma on cash, goods comes in, purchase good account will be debited. Okay, so whenever goods comes in or whenever we are purchasing the goods, that particular purchase account will be debited. Okay, now third one, furniture of rupees 10,000 purchased from Rajesh. See here, I am purchasing a furniture which is not in the purpose of resale, which is purchasing for the use of the business. That's why furniture is the assets of the business, and that's why we have to write that furniture account will be debited. See here, furniture of rupees 10,000 purchased from Rajesh. Furniture is an asset. Furniture comes in, that's why furniture account will be debited. That is your answer, and that you have to write in your example book. Fourth one, machine of rupees 20,000 purchased on cash. Machine is purchased on cash. What means of that? Here machine is your assets and it is purchased, that's why come into the business, that's why machine account will be debited here. So here, see the answer, machine of 20,000 purchased on cash, machine comes in, machine is an asset, that's why machine account will be debited. Okay, so here you have to write this particular answer for the explanation of this. Next, fifth one, see here, all debit transactions is over. Whatever goods purchased, goods purchased on credit, goods purchased on cash, assets purchased on credit and asset purchased on cash, whatever the transaction is there, whenever you are purchasing any goods or assets, that particular goods or that particular asset account will be debited, right? So purchase account debited or asset account debited here in first four transactions. Now the second four transaction, that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In all these cases, in all these transactions, just we are going out the goods or assets, and that's why that account will be credited here. Goods of rupees 20,000 sold to Rohini. Again, I am selling the goods, that's why goods goes out from the business, that's why sales account here sales account is credited, right? Goods of rupees 20,000 sold to Rohini, goods goes out, sales account will be credited. Sixth point, goods of rupees 8,000 sold to Salma on cash. Here again I am selling the goods on cash, that's why again goods goes out, that's why sales account credited. Okay, next, seventh, old furniture of rupees 10,000 sold to Rajesh. Furniture sold, that's why furniture is goes out from the business, that's why it is our assets, and that's why furniture account, old furniture account will be credited. Okay, and the last, machine of rupees 20,000 sold on cash. Again machine goes out from my business, that's why machine account will be credited. Okay, so here illustration number 8 is also complete. See the answer of 7 and 8 on page number 44, transaction 7 and 8 of illustration 8. See the answer and write the answer that particular in your fair book. Now we will see the next and last, that is third, nominal account. See here, first of all we are understanding one by one, that is personal account first, then real account second, now nominal account, and after that all three transactions we have to see that all the transactions that which have two affected first, which two affected account we have to write, and which rule will apply to that particular transactions, that particular account, that we will see in our next, that is 10th illustration. Okay, so here first of all nominal account, I am writing the rule of nominal account. See what is the rule of nominal account. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Right? Okay, I am reading that. Under the nominal accounts, due to transactions, either income, that is received revenue realized or expenses incurs, right? Okay. All expenses are debited, incomes are credited. Rule of nominal account: debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Let us see illustration number 9. First transactions: 5,000 paid for salary. See, paid word is there and salary is, that's why here expense for the business. Whenever paid word is there, the expense for the business, received word is there, the income for the business. Right here 5,000 paid as a salary. That's why salary is the expenses. That's why salary account will be debited. All expenses or losses will be debited here. See the answer: 5,000 paid for salary. Salary is the expense for the business and salary account will be debited. That is your particular explanation or answer that you have to write in your fair book. Second one, 3,000 paid for rent. What is that? 3,000 paid for rent. See, 3,000 paid for rent. Again, paid word is there. That's why rent is your expense of the business again, and that's why that account will be debited. 3,000 paid for rent. Rent is expenses. Rent account will be debited. That is your answer. Now third one, paid telephone bill, rupees 2,000. Again, paid word is there. Telephone bill, that is your expense. That's why telephone bill is your business expense. That's why telephone bill account will be created, or you can say telephone bill account will be debited. Okay, next point, bad debts incurred, rupees 3,000. Bad debts is not your expense. See here, bad debts is your loss of the business. And again, expenses as well as losses, all the losses are debited here. That's why bad debts account also debited here. See the answer: bad debts incurred for 3,000. Bad debts is the loss of the business. Bad debts account will be debited. Okay. Now the fifth one, brokerage received. Again, received word is there. That's why brokerage is your income. Again, if brokerage paid is there, that's why at that time brokerage is debited, because that is expenses. Paid word is that, that's why it is expenses. And whenever brokerage received word is there, here received means income, and that's why that account will be credited. Here brokerage account will be credited in fifth transactions. 6, dividend received. Again, received word is there. See the answer: dividend received rupees 3,300. Dividend is income of the business, and that's why dividend account is also credited. 7, commission received. Again, commission is your income. That's why commission account will be credited. And the last one, interest received. Again, interest is your income of the business, and that's why interest account will be credited. All are the incomes. Last four all are the incomes of the business, and first 4 all are the expenses and losses of the business. That's why first 4 account will be debited and last 4 account will be credited here. Okay, so see the rules of debit credit on page number 44. Types of accounts: personal, real, nominal. Personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And nominal account, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Okay, these are the rules of debit credit of all accounts. Steps to debit credit account, that is your point number 8 on page number 44, last paragraph. First, determines whether transactions is economic or non-economic. First, you have to see, I told you in my previous lectures that accounting is a process. First of all, business transactions is there. From that you have to classify them economic and non-economic. From economic you have to classify into cash or credit. From that, now you have to find out which 2 account is affected here. That particular account will be categorized into personal, real and nominal, and then we have to apply the rules for that particular personal, real or nominal account, and then we complete our accounting entry. See, this is the steps. Okay, here the steps again given. Here in my previous lecture I told you, I gave you the steps. Here again they are in the theory form given, the steps to the process of the accounting entry. Only economic transactions are recorded into the books of accounts. Non-economic transactions are not recorded in the books of a business. Example, an order is received for the goods of ₹2000. This transaction does not affect any above mentioned account. Thus, it is not an economic transaction. See, we already seen that which one is the economic, which one is the non-economic transactions. So here I am not discussing about anything economic and non-economic transactions. Just I am seeing the theory. Second step, determine two different accounts associated with the transaction. That means every transaction has dual effect. Dual effect means debit and credit effect. Determine which account has debit effect and which account has credit effect. On that basis, both the accounts will be determined. On the basis of the above mentioned table, first determine debit effect and subsequently determine the credit effect. In this context, let us understand study of the following illustration. See here, you have to prepare first this table in your example book. So here I am giving you a 2 to 5 minutes to prepare this table in your example book. First of all, prepare this serial number, page, see the page number 45, serial number, transactions, then debit effect. Under that, benefit receiver person, goods assets comes in, or in case of expenses or losses. 3 accounts are there, 3 columns are there. Then credit effect, 3 column, benefit giver person, goods assets goes out in case of income and gain. Here I am giving you a 2 to 5 minutes. For that, first of all, prepare that particular table and then we are answering the same in the table. Okay, we are writing the answer into the table, but first of all you have to prepare this table or given on the page number 45. Okay, so first of all prepare that. Okay, I hope you complete the table. Here I am also prepare this table. First of all, serial number, transactions, then debit effect, then credit effect. Here I am not writing a transactions because it is already given into your textbook. That is your question, right? You have to write here serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and 11. Total 11 transactions are there. Then you have to write the question, that is transaction. I am not writing here the transaction, I am just writing here the answer of that particular transaction. First of all, I am explaining you that particular transactions and then write the effect, that is first debit effect of that particular transactions and credit effect of that particular transaction. Okay, so here I am starting the illustration number 10. Okay, see that now. First, Ranchod commenced the business with capital of 50,000. Ranchod, right? 3 idiots. You remember that? That is Ranchod. Ranchod starting the business, commenced the business with rupees 50,000 as a capital. See, in these transactions, 2 accounts are affected here. First of all, you have to take a pencil and underline that transaction, that question first. Ranchod is a owner of the business and that's why he is giving benefit to the business. That's why first account is affected, that is capital account, because in the business, in the accounts, one rule is there, that is personal, that is owner account will be not opened into the books of accounts of that particular person, that particular owner, right? That's why whatever transactions done by the owner with the business, that is brought the capital or withdraw a cash from to the business, right? That is, capital and drawings are the representative personal account. That's why we have to write that owner is the benefit giver. We have to credit a capital account. Whenever owner is the benefit giver, then we have to give credit a capital account, or whenever the owner is the benefit receiver, then drawing account will be debited. So first of all, here first effect is cash. Underline that 50,000. 50,000 comes to the business. That's why first effect of this transaction. See here, debit effect of this transaction is into the business, cash comes in. 50,000 rupees comes into the business, and cash is our assets. That's why cash account will be debited to cash account. Here we have to write, because see, it's a personal, it's a real, and it's nominal. But first effect is a cash account, and cash account is a real account. That's why here we have to write debit to cash account. Cash comes into the business, that's why debit to cash account. And who is the benefit giver? Owner is the benefit giver. That's why second account, that is capital, underline capital. That's why capital account will be credited to capital account, benefit giver. That's why. Here your first account is, first transaction is over. Credit to capital account. Here in the other, we have to write a dash, because only two accounts are affected and two effects also there. One is debit effect here, one is the debit effect, 3 column for the debit effect, and the second 3 column for the credit effect. Here first debit effect is cash account, because cash is a real account and comes into the business, that's why debited. And capital is a personal account, and here the owner is the capital giver, that is benefit giver. That's why capital account will be credited into our first transaction. Now second one, 20,000 deposited with Bank of Baroda. See again, cash. This one is the cash transaction. First of all, we have to classify then it is an economic or non-economic. Yes, it is an economic transaction. Now classify again into that it is a cash or credit transaction. It's a cash transaction, because cash goes out or cash comes into the business. We are depositing a cash to Bank of Baroda. That's why here I can say that it is a cash transaction. Now cash comes in or cash goes out. Here cash goes out. So first of all, which first account is affected? Bank of Baroda is a benefit receiver. Bank of Baroda is a personal account. Underline Bank of Baroda. And deposited, underline that particular 20,000 deposited, that is your second account, and first account is Bank of Baroda account. Bank of Baroda is a benefit receiver. That's why here in the second transaction, benefit receiver person, Bank of Baroda account, debit Bank of Baroda account. Debit to Bank of Baroda, BOB account. Why? Bank of Baroda is a receiver, benefit receiver. I am depositing a cash to Bank of Baroda. That's why Bank of Baroda is a benefit receiver, and that's why Bank of Baroda account will be debited. Here cash goes out from the business. Again, second affected account is a real account. So here we have to write in the real column, real account column, goods or assets goes out, cash goes out. That's why credited to cash account. This is your second transaction. Right? First account is Bank of Baroda, which is a personal account. That's why debited to personal. Second affected account is a real account. That's why writing in the real account column. Okay. Third transaction. Goods of rupees 2000 purchase on cash. Goods of rupees 2000 purchase on cash. Again, cash account is there. So underline that cash, and purchase. Underline that particular purchase. So purchase is goods again, and cash is also assets. So here both account are real account. So one is comes in and the second one is goes out. Goods purchase, that's why purchase account will be debited here in the third transactions, debited to purchase account. Debit to purchase account, and here cash goes out from the business. That's why credit to cash account. Right? Okay. Now fourth transactions. Goods of rupees 6000 sold to Radha. See here. Goods sold, that is second account, and sold to Radha. Radha is the first account. Radha is receiver. That's why debit benefit receiver account will be debited. Personal account. See here, it is a cash transaction or credit transactions. It is a credit transactions. Here party name is given. Firm name or party name or company name is given, and the cash word is not used. At that time it is a credit transaction. Here goods of rupees 6000 sold to Radha, that one is a credit transaction, and here Radha is a personal account affected benefit receiver. That's why we have to write that fourth one, benefit receiver, debit to Radha account, and we are selling the goods sold, that is second affected account. So here sales account. Goods means assets. Goods or assets goes out. That's why here we have to write credit to sales account. Got this? Okay. Now fifth one, goods of rupees 1000 purchase on cash. See, underline that word, particular goods purchase and cash. Two accounts are affected here. Again, these both are a real account. Goods purchase, that's why goods comes in, cash given, that's why cash goes out. Okay, so here fifth point, both affected account are real account. So we have to write in the second column of each debit and credit effect. Debit to purchase account, because we are purchasing the goods, that's why debit to purchase account, and credit to cash account, because cash goes out from the business. See here in the credit effect, last four are the real accounts, right? Cash account, sales account, and cash account. Credit effect are the sales and cash. That's why goods and real accounts are affected. Okay, sixth point. Goods of rupees 2000 purchased from Mira. Again, it is a credit transactions. Cash word is not there. Right, see, all are the economic transactions. First of all, here there is no anyone is a non-economic transactions, and here we have to classify them into cash or credit. Whenever the cash word is there, here that is cash transactions. We are depositing any cash to bank, we are withdrawing any cash from bank, that is again a cash transactions. Whenever we are starting with the business with 50,000 cash, again that is a cash transactions. And whenever cash word is not there and the party name is given, then it is a credit transaction. So here Mira, we are purchasing the goods from Mira, so Mira is the person who is giving a benefit or taking a benefit. We are purchasing the goods, that's why Mira giving a benefit giver account. Here we have to credit benefit giver account, we have to credit. And here goods purchased is a real account, that's why we have to debit it because goods comes into the business. Okay, so 6 point, again debit to purchase account because goods or assets comes into the business, and Mira is the benefit giver. Credit to Mira account because Mira is the benefit giver person. Okay. Next, 7th, purchase furniture of rupees 1,000. Purchase furniture, see here purchase word is there, but we are purchasing the furniture, that's why here goods not goods, here assets are purchased, that's why assets account will be debited. And here there is no specification regarding any cash paid or received, that's why again it's a cash transaction. Whenever nothing is given, that is party name, cash word, bank word, check word, nothing is given, that you at that time you have to write that this one is the cash transaction. So here we are purchasing the furniture of rupees 1,000, and you can say that furniture comes into the business, that is our assets, as well as here cash goes out from the business, that is also our assets. So here see 7 point comes in, that is furniture, that is debited to furniture account, not purchase account. See here debit to furniture account, not purchase account, because we are not purchasing a goods, we are purchasing an asset, and whenever we are purchasing an asset we have to debit particular asset account. So here debit to furniture account and credit to, because it is a cash transaction, credit to cash account, cash goes out from the business, that's why credited to cash account. Debit to furniture account and credit to cash account. Okay. Next 8 point, sundry expenses incurred for rupees 300. See, whenever expense word is there, or whenever you see that any expenses is given in the transactions, you have to just keep in mind that it is almost a cash transaction, almost, right? Because expense is always made in cash, not on credit. So here I am sundry expenses incurred here in these transactions, so that particular expense account will be debited, and here again cash goes out. So underline that particular word, sundry expense, that is your expense, so expense account will be debited. And here income word 300 is given, that is cash, so cash transactions is there, that's why cash account will be affected here, cash goes out, and expenses, that's why debited. 8th point, expenses, that's why debit to sundry expenses, or you can say sundry expenses. is just joking. Sundry expenses account debit, and credit to cash goes out. That's why credit to cash account. Okay. Next, ninth one, dividend received. See, the dividend received word is there. Again, it's our income, right? Received word is there. That's why it's a cash transactions. First, cash come into the business, and dividend is our income. That's why credited to dividend account. Okay, two accounts are affected. Please underline that. Dividend received, that is your income, that is your second account affected, and amount is given, that is cash come into the business. That's why cash account will be affected here. Ninth one, debit to cash account, because cash comes in whenever we are receiving an income. Cash comes in whenever we are paying an expenses. Cash goes out. Okay, so here debit to cash account and income, credit to dividend account. Dividend is our income, that's why credit to dividend account. Okay, here next, 10th, wages, sorry, then wages paid. Wages paid of rupees 200. Wages is our expenses of the business, that's why debited, and cash goes out, that's why credited. Nothing else, easy. Debit to wages account, because wages is the expenses of the business, and credit to cash account, because cash goes out from the business. Okay, in the last 11th one, machine of rupees 1500 purchase. See, machine, underline that particular one, machine purchase. So it is assets comes into the business from Ramesh Brothers. Ramesh Brothers means what? Ramesh Bros means what? Here Ramesh Bros is a personal account. Underline that particular Ramesh Bros, and that is your personal account, but benefit receiver or giver? Benefit giver. We are the purchasing this machine on credit. We are not giving any cash here. It is a cash transaction, right? So machine of rupees 15,000 purchased from Ramesh Bros is the credit transactions. That's why machine account will be debited here, and Ramesh Bros is the benefit giver. That's why Ramesh Bros account is credited here. So in the last, goods or assets comes in, that is debit to machine account, and credit to Ramesh Bros, that is Ramesh Brothers account. Okay, so here all the transactions of illustration number 10. All the transactions of illustration number 10 is over here. I hope you all understand that. If you don't understand this, please see this video again and again, and here all the rules are applied in each and every transactions, and writing the entry or effect of debit or credit effect of each and every transactions. Okay, so we have to do in all our lectures this, because the entry, journal entry is the most important. We have to just here see that which two accounts are affected and which effect is there. First account, debit effect in which account and credit effect to which account we have to write here. But the actual writing process is different. We have to see that the actual writing effect in chapter number 4. Okay, so here we just write down then here that debit effect or credit effect of all the transactions of illustration 10. See, explanation is given here on page number 46. See, I also already told you all the explanation. Here you just have to see, you just have to read that explanation. You don't have to write also here in your fair book. You just have to write this. Here you have to write all the transaction first, compulsory, and then write down this. This is your homework. So your homework is, now see the homework. You have to write example, that is illustration 7, 8, 9, 10 in your example book, right? And see, you have to also read illustration number 11 and you have to write in your exercise book exercise 2, question number 1, all the MCQs you have to write. Then don't write question number 2, answer in one sentence. We are discussing that in our regular lecture. Okay, again question number 3, answer 2 or 3 sentence, answer in the 2 or 3 sentence. Again you have to write that because we are again discussing in our regular lecture. So skip exercise 2, question number 2 and 3. Then you have to write in your exercise book question number 4. See the question number 4. To which account the following transactions will be debited and credited in the books of Nilima? See here, Nilima is the owner of the business. So we have to concentrate that on the basis of Nilima. We have to see the different transactions, right? So whenever Nilima purchased the goods, here we have to purchasing the goods. Whenever Nilima sold the goods, here we are taking as a we are selling the goods. So at that time, whenever we are writing this exercise sum, here we have to know that I am. That means whenever who are the writing the accounts, he is or she is a Nilima compulsory at that time. So you have to write that debit or credit, which account is debited when which account is credited in the books of Nilima, described with the reason. You have to write that particular fourth exercise question, and you have to write that to which account the following transactions will be debited and credited in the books of Ganesh, described with the reason. See that again you have to write. See the same is there. Which account the following transactions will be debited and credited in the books of Ganesh? First, fourth is in the books of Nilima, and the fifth one is in the books of Ganesh. So your homework is exercise 2, question number 1, 4 and 5 that you have to do in your exercise book, and in example book you have to write example 7, 8, 9 and 10, and you have to read that particular 11 example also. We will do that 11 example as well as your doubt of exercise 2. Okay, so please send me your doubts on WhatsApp or call me, and write down these all your homework in your exercise as well as example book. Okay, so here I complete my lecture. Thank you class.